Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the You Look Happier podcast. My name is Ellie and I'm joined today by Miss Ellie Mills. And this episode is going to be based on all things girl talk. So self-confidence, self-esteem, fitness, mental health, and we'll just see where things take us.
Perfect.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Feeling okay for this today?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
A little bit nervous, but I don't stop talking normally. So, this shouldn't stop me.
Well, that's good. And as I said to you earlier, one of the main reasons why I thought you'd be great for this podcast is because you're a big character. You've been through some difficult times yourself.
Yeah.
And your energy is really, really attractive. Like, people warm to you. So I thought, why don't I ask Miss Ellie Mills to come on?
I did manifest this. I saw you posting, you were doing a podcast and that Rachel was your first guest. And I said to Beth, I was like, they're going to ask me. I tell you now, I'm a big name in Cov. I wasn't joking. And she was like, no, they probably will. 2 days later, you're like, hi, Ellie, was wondering, would you like to be a guest? I was like, yeah, I really would.
That is so funny. I remember I was speaking to my friends and I'd wrote a list of all the people that I thought would be good. And I said, Ellie Mills. And my friend said, oh, yeah, she'd be a good one. So thank you for coming
very
on
welcome
today. So obviously, before we begin, my first question to you, could you tell the listeners 3 things about you?
Okay.
In general.
In general. So the biggest thing, which is probably my whole personality, is my fitness. I'm obsessed with going to the gym all the time. I do it every single night. Even on rest nights, I go to the gym. But only so I can get my steps. So I'm very autistic in the sense that everything that I have to do for the day, I have to get done.
Yeah.
So if on my plan is 12,000 steps, I will do 12,000 steps before I go to bed. I can't help it. I guess it's an obsession, but in a healthy way. If it was an unhealthy obsession, I'd know about it. I'd be told by my mum or Beth that I'd gone too far.
Yeah.
So it's a good obsession to have. So yeah, that's where I am every single night. What else? I'm godmother to a very, very beautiful little girl who takes up the rest of my time. I don't have kids myself, so it's the perfect balance of if you want a child but you don't have the capacity to make one yet, you need a man for that to happen. You can just borrow her. So I'll just have her for random nights. If I'm like, Beth, can I have Nelly? She's like, of course you can. And then I'll have her for the night, take her to school, have her on weekends.
Wow, so you're really involved.
Yeah, everything I want to do with this. If I want to see Moana too, probably more than Nelly does, so I can take her. So we're all going. Not this weekend, next weekend. We're doing Wicked this weekend.
And you took her to a Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah, so I felt very pressured. Well, not pressured. Beth's mum got 2 tickets, and she didn't know that Beth had a hen do that weekend when the tickets were. She'd just seen that tickets were cheap. She bought them. And Beth rung me and she was like, please, can you take Nelly? I've got Emily's hen do. She was like, if it was anyone else, I wouldn't be bothered. But Emily, she was bridesmaid for, Emily Evans.
Yeah,
and she was like, I can't miss this. It's her hen. And I was like, I've got someone in for makeup. And I was like, shit, what do I do? So I messaged the girl and I just said, hi, babe, I know you booked in for makeup. Is there any chance you can come earlier? And she was like, yeah. She was like, it's for a wedding, an evening guest. And I said, well, what's the latest you can do? And I explained to her, I said, look, I need to get my niece to Liverpool to see Taylor Swift. It's once in a lifetime. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she was fine. So she came earlier. And then I got my other friend Katie to put on Instagram, does anyone have parking near Anfield? This beautiful woman messaged me and she was like, yeah, I can. My mother-in-law lives there. I still talk to her now. She's so nice. One of the nicest women. And she got us parking on 3 streets over from Anfield. So we drove, walked to there, and oh my God, it was the best day ever. She loved it. Because we didn't think she'd get to experience it because we got our tickets last year.
Yeah.
Nightmare to get. We could only get on for Edinburgh, of all the places, but it was amazing. Edinburgh's beautiful. And then these tickets were only I think they were 50 quid each because once they set up the stadium, they saw what they had, they could get away with restricted view. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I took Nelly. She had the best time.
And just hearing the way that you talk about her, shows how important she is.
Oh, yeah,
to
she's
you.
very important to me. I think kids are in general, to me. I was saying this to my friend the other day. Kids don't judge you. They don't care. They don't care, like, if you're skinny, if you're pretty, if you're funny, if you're whatever. They just like you for who you are. You don't have to pretend. You're just you, and kids just like you. Well, kids like me.
Kids do like you. I've seen it.
Kids like me, yeah.
And what I'm hearing from what you're saying is kids, they're not bothered about what you look like. No. They're not bothered about what you do for a job. They don't judge you. They like you for your soul.
Yeah, kids are just pure, aren't they? They don't have any they're not being nice to you to gain anything from you. There's no, like, I don't know how to describe it, but kids are just kids. Like, Louise brings her daughter into the salon, and I'm just like, "Hey, do you want some chocolate?" And she's like, "Yeah." And so I'm like, "Come on then." Louise is like, "Go on then, go with Ellie." Because I know what kids are like. They come in somewhere, they're scared, there's loads of people around. They know chocolate, they like chocolate. Like, just give them some chocolate and they're happy.
And I bet they love you for that.
Yeah, 100%. I like all my friends' kids. Like, I think it's an addition of, like, someone that you care about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, why wouldn't you love them? Do you know what I mean?
And that's really special because not everybody has that viewpoint. Not everybody warms to children. Like, I'm an only child, so I didn't, other than me growing up and being friends with the children that were
Around
my
you,
age,
yeah.
It was one of my best friends' little boy. That was the first time I'd ever really met a child.
Yeah, and you're like, hello.
Yeah,
what do I do?
And I'm the same. I love them because they're fun, and you can be fun. You can be your authentic silly self.
All me and Nelly do is TikTok dances. All she wants to do is, like, can we do this? You know, the one where you, like, flip them round?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got no one to do it with me. So I was like, come on, Nelly, let's do it. And every time she's like, can we do it? Can we do TikTok? Can we do TikTok? Because she just loves being, like, she loves it. She loves the fun. Like, and I don't care. I'll walk around, like, when we walk to the park, I'll put her on my shoulders and we'll sing Frozen really loud. I don't care. What they can do? Oh my God, look at that weirdo singing Frozen to a child. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one really cares.
That's a really powerful mindset to have as well. I was like, not being bothered by people around you and the surroundings.
Yeah.
And opinions of others.
Yeah. Everyone's going to hate you, right? People are going to love you because they love you. It doesn't matter what you do. They love you. They're your friends. They're your people. And the people who don't like you, it doesn't matter what you do. If they don't like you for whatever reason, that's it. They're not going to like you. You can't change that opinion. You can't force people to see the good things about you because you will spend your whole life miserable. Like, if you try and force that upon people, I did it for years, and oh my God, it's draining because you're never good enough. It's like being in a relationship with someone that's not right for you or someone that doesn't value you. All you're going to do is you're almost like driving them away because you're like, I'm this, I'm perfect, I'm everything you want me to be, like, love me. And you literally, and they're like, oh God, no. It's the same in friendships. There's like that dynamic. Yeah. If someone doesn't see you for what you are and who you are, then it's pointless. But why care what they think?
And if you can hold that kind of mindset, if you can have that kind of mentality in every aspect of life, like with relationships, friendships, that is the most powerful, in my opinion, most powerful way that you can look at things. That element that you don't need to change in order for people to like you. Because if you feel that you are doing that, so if you feel, right, I need to be this kind of person in order to gain acceptance from this person, this lad, this friend, this group of people, you can come unstuck. Because you're not being genuinely you.
And you get, like, caught up in it. Every relationship I had, I would leave my friends. So, like, I'm not really friends with anyone that I went to school with because I got into a relationship at 17 and he became my whole world. And whatever he was doing, I would do.
Right.
Even if that wasn't what I'd normally do. I was at the pub every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because that's where he was and where he worked and where all his friends were. And that became my life. And I was like, this isn't... I don't even go to the pub now. Like, I couldn't tell you the last time I went to a pub. I actually don't like drinking. Okay. I love a bottomless brunch.
Yeah.
with my girls, with very certain people, but I don't need to drink. So I don't. I'm not the sort of person that thinks I'm just going to go for a pint. My weekends are, unless there's a big plan in place, like we've got all the Christmas parties coming up and brunches, my weekends are chilled. I work, go gym, go see Beth, go see Nelly, just chill.
That sounds like a very peaceful
It's
Kinda.
boring. Like, people, my life, I think, is really boring. And like going back on a dating app and people are like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing." Like, like one lad's like, "Oh, do you do anything other than go gym at night?" I'm like, "No." Like, what else is there to do for me?
Yeah.
For someone who I used to come in from work, lie on the sofa, I'd get like snacks, sit and eat loads of food, and then watch just shit on the telly. I'd do Hollyoaks at like 6:30 and the one at 7, then Corrie at 7:30.
Is the one at 7 the day
the day after,
next
then I'd
day?
be like, then I'd have to rewatch it. And like, that was all I did whilst eating. And I had nothing to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, what would I rather do? Sit at home and do that? Or I actually socialise in the gym? Like,
Well, yeah, I've seen you.
People who go village will know that I don't shut up. So it takes me like 4 hours just to do a workout, like my session of lifting, and then cardio afterwards, because I talk to people. So sometimes when I was doing the shoot, I was very like, no one talk to me, okay? You need to just leave me alone, because I won't. But then 20 minutes later, I'll go up to them and be like, "Oh my God, you'll never guess what." Like, and
You
I
just can't
I
help
can't
it,
help
can you?
myself. Like, I actually can't. And my mum's like, "You need to be more disciplined." Because I'm very disciplined. Like, I'll go to the gym and I'll stick to the diets and I'll do all of that. I just love talking to people. Like, it's so fun. The gym is so fun. It makes me so sad that there's people that are scared to go to the gym and make friends, because it's one of the happiest places in my life. And it has been for the past 4 years. It's not like I just love it now. I've always loved it and felt really confident and happy in that gym. Now, if you put me in another gym, I probably wouldn't be quite as whatever. But no matter, I could go now and there'd be someone that I know and they'd be like, "Oh my God, hi." And I'd be like, "Oh my God, hi, how are you?" And then I'd just stand and catch up with them. Like, I'm friends with 70-year-old men. Like,
I've seen it. I've seen it in there. And that's a real true testament to your character, because you are friendly. You do talk to everybody. There's nothing wrong with that, Ellie.
No. But it's almost seemed like it's a bad thing. Like, I do get looks, mainly from girls either our age or a bit younger, and you just see it, like, out the corner of your eye, and they're just like, and I'm like, what? Like, why'd you hate me?
Yeah.
Why'd you hate that I talk to people? Why does it affect you? And I suppose 9 times out of 10, they probably don't even care, or they're probably not even looking at me, or they're probably glanced over and they just have like a resting bitch face. But in my head, I'm going, they don't like me. They're judging me.
Now that's interesting. That's interesting. Alongside what you said about children. So children, you like children because children don't judge you.
No.
But then sometimes when you're in the gym, you might be thinking, if someone's looking at you, they don't like me, they're judging me.
Yeah. And quite a few times I've thought, like, me and one of my now best friends, Elle, her and me both thought each other was bitches. When we first seen each other in the gym, I thought, what's she looking at? And she thought, who, she stuck up? And we were in the change rooms one day. I think we were going sauna. And we spoke, and it was like, "Oh my God, she's lovely." And she was like, "Oh my God, she's lovely." And now, like, she's one of my best friends. And it's funny because both of us, we're very, very similar people. But she's one of the, like, kindest people I'd ever meet. And she's the furthest thing from a bitch. She just has a resting bitch face. So when she trains, she's always just, like, very straight face, very whatever.
Yeah.
But as soon as you go over and go, "Hi," she's like, "Hello, you okay?" Like,
And you wouldn't even think it unless you gave her the time of day.
So other girls I've also thought, like, "Oh, they don't like me." And then they've come and spoke to me, and they're like, some girl came up to me the other night in the went toilet, and we're at the sinks, and she was like, "I've just got to say." And I was like, shitting myself, like, "Have I spoke to your boyfriend? Have I done something wrong?" She was like, "You've got the best back in the village." I was like, "Oh my God, stop it." I was like, "That's the best compliment." And then I was like, "Your figure's just insane." Like, she had a beautiful figure. And she was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." And just in that one interaction, now whenever I see her, we're like, "Oh my God, hi, you okay?"
So you've broke down that barrier, and now you've actually made another connection with somebody.
And that's all it is in the gym. It's just people, everyone's there for the same reason. Like, everyone's there to lose weight, to feel good, to socialise, to do something, move their body in some way. Like, in the actual, I don't know, you've done Zumba. I don't know how often you go in the actual gym.
Very rarely, Ellie.
And
I don't
people are
like
scared.
the weights room.
Yeah, people are scared to go in the weights room. They don't like it. But they'll do the classes.
I do spin and Zumba.
Yeah.
Well, we were just saying, actually, I haven't been for a few weeks.
You need to come back.
I know.
I was petrified to go back, though. I can't lie.
You forget the dance
I had 12
moves.
weeks. Nah, it was like riding a bike. Honestly,
Oh my God.
when that music starts, I was like, "Oh my God, I remember this one." Because I had 12 weeks off, and I did think, like, "Oh, am I going to be welcome back?" I was like, "Will they want me? Will someone have got in my space?" I know we have unofficial spaces, and I thought, what if someone's in my space? Like, do I go at the back? And I was just really scared. Because I've heard most people in that room love me, and like, as you know, they're all like middle-aged women, and they're just your friends, and you talk to them about just general life and whatever. One of the lads that I was speaking to, a girl walked past us, and she gave us a look, and I was like, "What have you done to her?" And he was like, "Oh no, she hates you." And I was like, I looked, and I was like, I've never, and I genuinely couldn't even point her out again now, never seen this girl before in my life. And I was like, why does she hate me? And he went, oh, she said you've had really bad vibes in Zumba. And I was like, bad vibes? I was like, have you seen me in Zumba? It's like I'm on drugs.
You have nothing but positive vibes in that class.
I'm literally, anyone new, you'll see me, I'm like, hello, is it your first time? I was like, just, enjoy it. Who cares? Like, everyone's in the same boat. Like, we're all just here to have fun. I was like really shocked, but then I found it funny because I didn't even know who this girl was. How am I giving bad vibes to someone that I don't even know? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I think this brings us sort of on topic with the whole point of what we're talking about. That element of who you are, how you feel about you, but how other people perceive you. And what you're saying here is there was somebody that you'd never met before, and they instantly maybe took a dislike to you through seeing you in a gym class. And just for context, so we're both members of the same gym. Yeah. We do have mutual friends, but we didn't know each other really, did we? Properly.
No, I knew of you and all your friends, like, because I'd met Rachel.
Yeah.
Do you know how me and Rachel...
number one.
Guess number one. Do you know how me and Rachel met?
No, tell me.
We were both on holiday with our exes, and her ex kept looking at me, and I was like, to my partner at the time, I was like, these girls are just giving me bad looks.
Bad vibes.
Really bad vibes. I was like, I don't know them. And he was like, you're so paranoid. And I was like, no, they do. They keep looking at me. And he was like, well, just like, forget about it. He was like, you're on holiday with me, enjoy yourself. Her ex comes up to me and she's like, you do my friend's makeup. You're beautiful Ellie Mills, aren't you? And I was like, oh my God. And they were cough girls. And I did Kate Evans' makeup like back in the day. And that's how they knew who I was. They weren't looking at me in a bad way. They were looking at me to be like, oh my God, I'm sure that's Ellie Mills.
But you know what's interesting there? I'll pause you there. You instantly went to the negative.
Always think negatively. Always. I don't know why. I always just think, oh, they don't like me. Or, oh, they're saying something bad.
We'll come to that. I'm going to hang on to that one. So we didn't really know each other very well, did we? No. And then I joined your gym. I joined the village. And I thought, right, I don't really want to go in the weights room. And I've done little sporadic sort of a bit of push-pull legs and stuff like that. I've trained with my friend Shauna Lawton, done some sessions with her at Apollo Gym. And I never stick to it, ever. So I thought with the village, okay, there's classes. So I started doing spin. So I thought, right, that's sitting on a bike. That can't be too difficult. And then I thought, right, Zumba. And I remember the first time I went into the sort of Zumba room. No, it wasn't. I'd walked past the Zumba class and I'd seen you dancing in it. And I sort of waved at you. And I thought, oh, well, if Ellie's in there, I then feel comfortable to go into that class. So I was anxious as well because I thought it's a new class, new people. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't dance. But I thought, right, okay, I'll give it a go. And you instantly came straight over to me, gave me a hug, like, because I was with, I think, a couple of my mates, and you said, just don't worry. Everyone always starts without knowing any of the dances. And you made me feel so at ease. Oh. And I just loved it because you have Teresa.
Yeah, we love Teresa.
Holy Teresa, we love her. She was obviously leading the class, but you're always at the front. So you were really easy for me to watch dance. So that's the context of sort of how we got to know each other a little bit better just in the gym.
I suppose at the most we were going we could go 3 times a week.
Tuesday,
Thursday, Sunday. Like, and it's a lot. Like, you see the same people every week. Why hate them? You're in a room with them for an hour. Like, why can't everyone just get on and it just be a nice hour?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's no bad vibes in that room. No. It's a happy place.
Well, that's why I was shocked when you just shared what that guy said that girl said about you. So if we look at just you in general, the basis of sort of self-esteem, self-confidence, fitness-based kind of activities, have you always been into fitness?
God, no. I suppose I mean I did as a child everything that you could possibly do that you had enough time to do. So I did football in primary school, all the different dances you could do, mainly Irish, and we did that till we were about 16, 17. And then we they had a music video for Shane, is it Shane Phelan? The one from Westlife. They'd all gone solo.
The blonde one?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't welcome on the shoot. So they asked our dance school to be in it. Now, our dance teacher had issues with weight and appearance, and she rung me and she said, Ellie, you can be in the music video. I was like, oh my God, yay. She'd already asked all the really good dancers. I was never a really good dancer.
You are now.
I am now. I think I can do it now. But back then I wasn't. And me, Beth and Jamie were always at the back. And we always used just jokes. It was just always us three at the back. And we didn't care. She'd be like, put yourself in lines. And we'd all turn around and go straight to the back. And she rung me and she said, you can be in the music video, love. And I was like, oh, thank you. She went, I just would really like you to lose a stone in a week. Now,
No.
I was 17, 18. And I was like, oh, thank you. But no, thank you. I was like, that is scientifically impossible. Now, I'd had like a bit of an eating disorder when I was sort of 13, 14. Right. So I'd gone through the really, really skinny side where I was like a size 4 and not eating. And it wasn't nice for anyone that was around me. Went to see like a nutritionist and went to a specialist. And I got help and I got myself better. But then obviously, I think I was then comfort eating. So I was eating my feelings. I never dealt with what was going on in my head until a bit later on. So I think then I'm just like eating my feelings, putting on weight. When you start on antidepressants, I think it's so easy to overeat because you feel empty.
Yeah.
Like you just don't feel anything. The ones I was on was sertraline. It was quite a high dose. And I just remember I was numb. I was numb to everything. I was sleeping constantly. I wasn't getting out of bed. Like it was bad. Like it was a real bad time in my life. I put on so much weight from binge drinking. I used to just drink cider. That was my drink of choice, which is so calorific.
Yeah.
Like now I'd be like, oh, couldn't have a cider. But I just got to a point where I was so overweight, like morbidly overweight, miserable. And I went to do a wedding with Beth. I was doing the makeup. She was a guest. And when the pictures come out of this wedding, Beth was like, oh my God, here's the link. Like, I think you're in some of them. And I was doing, some of them I was in doing makeup, but with the makeup one, you kind of, it's from the back, it's just your hand and they're taking a picture of the bride.
Yeah.
In the guest pictures, oh my God, I looked huge. And like my mum and Beth will go, we never remembered you looking like that though. You never looked like that. And I was like, but I did. It was there in this picture, there I was. And I was like, how have I let that happen? Like, how have I got to this point? And that was the biggest wake-up call.
Wow.
But I didn't go straight to a gym because I think I was scared to go in a gym being so big and I wouldn't know what I was doing. So I think from memory, I lost a bit of the weight before I even went to the gym just from walking. I'd walk around the park. I'd just watch what I was eating a little bit. I got into the keto diet, which is good for the short term. I won't knock it, but it's not sustainable.
I think the danger with the keto diet as well, definitely what I found, it's like, oh yeah, great, you can eat all of these high-fat foods, chorizo, heavy cream.
Yeah, everything.
But
and
then
it was fine.
If you want a snack, I was having carbs.
Yeah.
I was having it on top of each other.
It was ridiculous. Like the food that you could eat, I was like, so you're telling me it's healthy to eat a big fat steak with cheese on top and all of this and that's fine.
Yeah.
But you did lose weight. Like, it was crazy how, like, I lost probably a good 2 stone on the keto diet. Then I joined at the gym. Then it was, like, lockdown and stuff. So as the gym reopened, they were doing classes in the car park. And I was going to the classes. So, like, you know the car park, the overflow one, where the electric things are now?
Yeah.
They put a tent there and they were doing classes as it started to reopen.
Wow.
Yeah.
But when you mentioned lockdown then, that's not that long ago.
No.
Is it really?
It's not. I mean, I'd say I've been at the gym for 4 years. So when was lockdown? 2020? 2019?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's 4 years ago.
So just on that, when you shared the wedding situation, right? So how did you feel within yourself at that time?
Not good. Not like I never felt happy or confident in myself, but I've posted selfies of myself my whole life because I was very into the makeup. So my job for the last 7, 8 years, I'm very hazy with times. I think that's like because I went through so much mental health, I've so many like patches in my life where I don't actually remember really what happened or what was going on at the time, and it's all like a bit hazy. But all I remember was I was obsessed with makeup. And when I started working at Benefit, I would get allocations, I'd be getting new products, and I got confident in the makeup that I was doing. But I didn't ever like how I looked. It wasn't like, don't I look great? It was like, I've just got the new Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, and this is the look I've done. It was never about how I looked. It was more like, I've done this makeup and I'm proud of this makeup. I think I've only been happy with how I look within like the last 2 years.
Wow, okay.
That I've actually thought, do you know what? This is who I am. I've worked hard to be here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to embrace it. I don't think for a split second I'm the best looking person in the world or wow, like, oh my God, look at me. I just think from where I've come from to where I am now, I've worked really hard.
You have worked really hard. Because I think I saw one of the pictures that I think you posted a picture on your social media, and similar to how you say your mum and your friend Beth reacted, like, oh, never thought of you like that. I literally could not. I think my jaw hit the floor.
Yeah,
else because I thought, because I've not known you like that.
No, they're like, that was never you, and they're so shocked. They're like, no, you didn't look like that. I'm like, yeah, I did.
But I think it's interesting when you answer the question when I say like, were you struggling then when you're happy then?
Yeah.
And you shared you had a bit of an issue with eating disorders when you were younger.
Yeah.
And then you got some support, and then what was it? Did you then go the other way?
I must have done. I'm trying to remember when I went. I think I was in second year of sixth form before I got kicked out. Because I was signed off for 2 weeks with depression, because obviously the doctors just, everything's depression, sign you off.
Yeah.
So I went then back to sixth form after them 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm ready to come back. And they were like, we don't think this is right for you. Like, you're not focused. We can't get you to do any work. All you care about is socialising. We don't think you should come back. Right. So I was like, right. Then I was on like this, I went to a proper like clinic where I properly had therapy for my eating disorder. And I want to say I was there for about a year. And it was really good. And there was like one of the biggest things that hit me was like, it was like when someone dies, like it doesn't have your weight on your tombstone. Like no one remember when you talk about
that is powerful.
It really hits you. Like, but when you talk about things like when you talk about someone that's passed, you talk about who they were, not how they looked. You don't go, oh my God, she had the nicest, longest hair, and she was so skinny, and she had massive tits, and it was amazing. And you literally, like, she was amazing. She was the loveliest person. And that was like, yeah, actually no one really does care about what you weigh. So then I'm like, no one cares what I weigh. And then I just kept eating. And then I was really like, I think I was eating because I felt like, oh my God, I'm happy again. I can eat. And then it just slowly piled on. And I just think I'll always be one of them people, metabolism-wise, that if I don't watch what I eat, I'm going to put on weight. Even now, I'm on a normal amount of calories for someone should be on. There's no restriction. But I just feel like I function so much better eating whole foods. I feel better in myself if I eat clean. But I think that's an ADHD thing. I think the chemicals in food massively affect your mood. And I don't think people realise how much of an effect it can have on you.
So do you mean if you're eating healthy, you feel good? If you're not eating healthy, you don't?
Yeah, I don't feel good. So if I eat food that's like heavily processed, loads of sugar, loads of E numbers, I will feel a dip in my mood. Whereas this whole photo shoot, yes, I was so stressed. I was stressed because I was putting pressure on myself, because I was like, right, I've got to get my training in and I've got to do this. And I was tired. Like, it was a lot. Towards the end, like doing 60 minutes on a Stairmaster after you've just smashed out legs whilst on lower calories.
60 minutes?
Yeah,
come on.
Like, come on. Like, it's a lot. So obviously I was feeling a kind of way. But when I wake up in the morning, genuinely, I'm like, I'm awake. I'm happy. I'm good. I'm switched on. I sing in my car on the way to work. Like, I don't sing, I perform. Like, you know, like, I'm really like over the top. I come into the office, I'm like, hello everyone, good morning. I'm so switched on.
So, direct question to you, were you that kind of character before lockdown?
No. I didn't get up. But I wouldn't get up. I'd be like, I'm so tired. I'm so moody. I've always been outgoing and liked socialising and liked people and liked to do stuff. But I'm a completely different person since like before lockdown.
Okay. And we know how much work you've actually put into this. Like, you've completely transformed who you are, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Would you say the element of the amount of work that you've actually done, physical work, so going to the gym, eating clean, all of that kind of stuff. Damn it.
We got so far. Do you know what? You did so well.
I don't even know how to start again else. Right. So would you say, with the amount of work that you've done on yourself, so training hard, eating clean, the physical effort that you've put into changing who you are and how you look, do you think that's impacted how you feel, or do you think you've also done some work on yourself mentally?
So much work on myself mentally.
Tell me about that.
Well, I say I'm lucky, but I kept going back to the doctors and I was like, all you're doing is giving me another 2 weeks off work. And so, like, I'm trying to put it into like context so the story sort of makes sense. I'd say I was like maybe 21, maybe 20, maybe 21. I was at Benefit and I don't even know what had happened. I don't think anything dramatic had happened. I just was at such a low in myself, in my moods. And so I got signed off at the doctors and they just kept upping it. They kept just, I think at most I was on 200 milligrams, like, which is ridiculous.
Sertraline?
Yeah, like that's high.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they just kept signing me off. And eventually, after like months of going back, they sent me to a psychiatrist at Caledon. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going Caledon. And it's like, it's got such a stigma to it.
Yeah.
And they actually do just do diagnoses there, and they do just have mental health there that want to help. And it's not, you know, the big stigma that's around it. So I was very fortunate to be diagnosed there, and then I went to a treatment centre and I had 3 years. 3 years of intensive therapy. So it was group sessions once a week and individual sessions once a week. And I made like friends in there that I've still got now, like because we went through such a journey together.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was like 3 going on 4 years of that.
Wow.
Which is a massive, even now, like I can't, it doesn't even feel real that I went to therapy and was doing all that because it was psychotherapy.
Yeah.
Which is so much different to, you know, like your CBT, which is, it teaches you how to do life, whereas psychotherapy goes back to like anything in your life that has contributed to how you feel now.
Goes deeper, doesn't it?
Oh, it's so deep. And like I'd come out sometimes and I'd just sit on the sofa and Mum would be like, you okay? And I'd just start crying. I'd be like, no, I'm not okay. And I was still drinking quite heavily at that point. So there'd be times Mum would get a phone call and apparently I was on the Kenilworth Road. No, like I have no recollection of this happening. We only talked about it recently and she was like, yeah, I had to come pick you up from the Kenilworth Road. And I was like, what the hell? Like as if that was me. Like as if I was in that state. So I was blessed to have had psychotherapy because I think it really helped me process how it helps me to process all my emotions.
Yeah, regulate them.
Yeah, which is one of the things that with ADHD, you can't regulate your emotions. It's really hard to. Everything's either up here or down here. I'm either life is incredible, life is amazing, or I hate everything and I'm really sad. I think about just before my period, I'll have these 2 or 3 days where life is over and I'm so sad. And like it's the littlest things will trigger me. And then the next day I wake up, what was all that about? Like I'm like...
So you've slept on it and...
Well, yeah, and it was over nothing. I can't help it. Me and my friends are just like, it is what it is. This month I was sound, nothing. And then next month I know it's going to happen.
So you mentioned ADHD.
Yeah.
Where did that come in?
So when I was at the like centre having like all the therapy and stuff, they do these like, I don't know if you've ever, they're like massive not exams, but it's like a massive questionnaire.
Well, like assessments.
Yeah. But it was like, it was like 3-4 hours of these assessments and they basically pulled off, everyone had all these different diagnoses, like sub-diagnoses from the main one.
Right.
So I was like, I just basically got a list of all these things and the 2 that I remember that have stuck with me was like high function autism, got traits of that, and then the ADHD. And it was like, now that ADHD has become such a, I don't know, global phenomenon, everyone's got it or everyone's got aspects of it. I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's what I had all them years ago. Like, that's what I was told that I have all them years ago. But because it wasn't a thing, it never really registered with me.
Right.
And there's no help, there's no treatment for it unless you go on medication. And I've done all my therapy work. So I've found that I self-medicate with looking after myself, with eating well and not drinking too much alcohol is the best way for me to keep my mood as stable as it can be without ruining who I am.
So the alcohol aspect,
Oh, massively.
it affects your mental health?
Huge, like massive. Everyone can see it. If I don't drink, I'm sound. If I drink, I'm great on the night. I'll have a great night out. But the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's still about Wednesday, I feel really down. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? And I know what's wrong with me. I've had a drink. But it depends how much. It's when I have a lot to drink. Like I used to go out and I'd probably drink to forget or drink to sort of numb whatever was going on in my mind. And then now when I go out to drink, I'm so excited to drink because I'm so happy. It heightens whatever mood you're in.
Exactly that. Whatever emotion you're feeling, if you're down, alcohol is at risk of making you feel worse.
Yeah.
If you're feeling great, then you're on top of the world.
Yeah. So now when I go out and drink, I'm so excited to go out and drink. I'm going out on Saturday for my cousin's 21st. And I'm genuinely so excited because I'm in such a good place. But I know that there's a chance I'll feel a bit sad Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But because I think because I know it's coming, I can plan for it. I can be like, okay, I'm going to feel a bit sad. Let's not buy any shit food because I will just want to eat that.
Yeah, and then you'll feel even worse.
Yeah, so it's like, let's just... I've planned a really fun day Sunday. We're having a sister day, and then my sister's booked all of me and my friends' tickets to go see Wicked. So
Perfect.
I'm so excited. Can't sing though.
Why?
They've requested that no one in the audience sings. I was like,
no.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, because if people want to go and hear like Ariana Grande sing.
Not Ellie Mills?
Not Ellie Mills. I'm shocked.
God's sake.
I know.
It's interesting what you say about the alcohol thing and the 3-day hangovers. I completely agree. Why is it that, I had Rachel on the last episode. Rachel can drink.
Yeah.
And Rachel, the next day, is absolutely bright as a button.
Yeah.
Even if she is hungover, she'll say, I'm just a bit tired.
Yeah.
A bit tired. I just can't do it else. The other week we went, met up, like with the girls, had some wine. I don't even drink wine. Honestly, Wednesday, I started feeling okay again. And Monday evening, I was rock bottom. I was crying. Anything that I could have thought of that was going wrong, I brought it all in. And I got myself in a real tizzy over it.
Yeah, and you're like, why am I doing this?
Why do we do it to ourselves?
Why? And I don't need to drink. I've done 75 hard twice, which is where there's a lot of aspects to it, but you can't drink for 75 days. I was going out. I was having sober nights out, and everyone was like, there's no way she's sober. And my friends were like, trust me, she has not had a drink. I would drink either no Prosecco, just water, or the non-alcoholic gin and lemonade.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we went to one bar and my mate was like, the bloke went, do you want a double of that? And my mate's like, yeah, she'll have a double. I was like, are you all right? I was like, there's no alcohol in that. I was like, you've literally just paid for a double for no reason. She was like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot.
Would have been cheaper though, right?
No, why is it cheap for a double? She'd have just got a single non-alcoholic gin and lemonade. I think it was like $3.50. The double was like $5.50. But because obviously he was just trying to upsell, she's like, yeah, she'll have a double. I was like, why? It's not going to get me any drunker.
It's not alcohol.
It's not alcohol.
It's just going to be a bit stronger, tasty.
Because they taste similar. They don't taste bad. And they do have an aspect of like gin and lemonade, but it's complete placebo. If you're holding a drink that's like everyone else's drink and you're sipping it like as if it's alcohol, you will placebo-ly think, oh yeah, I'm really drunk.
I'm involved in here.
Yeah.
I'm involved in this.
But I can just do that. Not everyone can. That was when I was in my most confident I think I've ever felt, was going out sober. It was so, like, you just felt like, oh my God, I can do this. I can talk to people sober. I don't need to have a drink. And it was wicked. And I was also very like, if a lad tried to talk to me, I'd be like, thank you, but I am sober. So like, I don't want to like, do you know, it was really weird. If I'd have got with a lad whilst I was sober and he's drunk, that's weird. Flip the roles.
Because if you flip it,
if a sober man went out on the prowl for drunk girls, he's a predator. He's whatever. So I was like, no, I'm not being involved in this. So if I'm out sober, I'm out with the girls. I'm not here to talk to boys because I think it's weird. If I am sober and you're drunk, that dynamic to me is just weird.
I've never
even thought about it
no,
like that.
never.
No, I just think it was weird. I just couldn't.
And I respect you for that as well.
But because if they, like, the next day, if I'm like, oh my God, hi, I had a great night last night, and they're like,
who's this?
yeah.
Or, I can't remember much.
Can't remember
lol,
it.
Sorry.
I'd feel like, oh my God. Like, and I was sober.
Okay. So, you mentioned going out sober, most confident you've ever felt. What does that word confidence mean to you? Would you say that you are confident, Ellie?
Yeah, to a degree. I think everyone's confident in certain aspects of their life and in certain places.
Yep.
So, like, in the gym, yeah, I am really confident, but I feel like I've earned that right to be confident. Like, in the gym, I'll walk around, you've seen me, I wear my little sports bras, wear my big joggers.
Yep.
I look cutesy, like, I feel nice. I love it. I work out better if I feel better in myself. If I feel good and I feel happy, I'll put in a really good workout. So, like, I do that for me. And yeah, I feel confident and yeah, I feel whatever. But put me, like we were saying before, if you put me in a pair of jeans and a nice top, I would feel so unconfident. I'd be like, oh, this isn't me. Like, I'd feel like I don't know how to describe it because it's only a pair of jeans, but it would just feel like the most alien thing in the world for me to be in jeans. And because I wouldn't feel comfortable in what I was wearing, I then wouldn't feel comfortable. I'd be constantly thinking, I don't like what I'm wearing.
So what you're wearing and whether you feel comfortable in your clothes
I just
impacts
have to feel,
how you feel about yourself.
But I feel most comfortable in gym gear. Like, in my trackie now, I'm cool.
You look
I feel
cute.
chill. But I don't know how to dress for my new body, for how I don't know how to wear clothes. I'm not fashionable. I spent my whole life trying to cover up, wearing predominantly leggings and baggy tops, baggy jumpers, oversized shirts. When, like, my friend always, who does my nails now, she's always like, when I first met you, fucking hell, you look like, I don't know what. She was like, you used to come in this big lumberjack jacket, your big Timberland. She was like, you looked very butch. You looked,
No.
yeah. And I was like, yeah, but I was wearing anything oversized to cover. And now I don't have to wear oversized. I'm like, well, what do I wear? Like, I don't know. I'm not confident outside of gym clothes. Even on a night out where I get dressed up.
Yeah.
I don't feel confident in what I'm wearing because I'm still not sure what to wear or what to feel good in because I've never been a girly girl who gets dressed up. And I know on my Instagram, all my pictures of me in nice outfits and it's all like, well, you look pretty damn confident there. But realistically, I'm not. My friends will tell you, I'm like, we've took 300 pictures to get that one picture that I feel okay in. And I'm like, then that picture's gone to 7 different people for their opinions on that picture. And I'm like, is this okay to post? And it's not even that deep. It's a picture on Instagram. But I'm like, because I'm not in something that I feel comfortable in. I'm in what the standard, let's wear nice dresses on a night out. And I'm like, okay, but I don't feel comfortable in that.
Because you're not used to it.
I'm not
You're
used
comfortable
to it.
in the outfits that you wear in the gym,
Yeah.
but you're comfortable in the gym
Yeah.
as well. And
because it's safe. I think you're
Yeah.
confident and you feel comfortable in places that you're safe. Now, if you put me in a bar with like loads of people that I didn't know, would I be as confident as I am in the gym? No, absolutely not. I'd be a little bit like reserved or a little bit like more mindful of like who's around because at the end of the day, everyone is scared of being judged. I don't care what anyone says.
I agree with you.
Everyone's scared of what other people are thinking and saying. And it's silly, really, because what are, like, do you know what I mean? What are they going to say? Go home to their friends and go, oh, you never guess what? I saw a girl out last night. She was having fun, dancing.
She looked great.
She was a bit of a twat. But they're not going to do that because that would say more about them than it would about me. No one really cares. And at most, they're going to pass a comment like, oh, she loves herself or, oh, who does she think she is? But they won't remember that moment. That's just a passing comment between 2 friends having a chat on a night out. So why, like, as girls, do we feel so, like, I don't know, scared all the time of what everyone else thinks of us?
And I like what you say, like, everyone does it.
Yeah.
Everyone feels it. And I think even a really, really healed, confident person, confident woman, it is natural if we're faced with something where we might think, what will people think of me if?
Yeah.
And I think it's natural to feel that, but then through work that you can do on yourself, you can then catch that and go,
Actually,
like you just have,
whatever.
is it is it relevant? Do I care? Will it impact me?
Yeah.
Does it mean anything about who I am, my character as a person?
There's that,
and then you can put it away.
saying in there, like, will it like matter in 5 years?
Yeah.
Whatever the one that I mean. It's like it will bother you for 5 minutes, not 5 years. So why do you care? Like, let it go.
Yeah.
It's happened. It's done. Move on.
And I think people that are listening to this, I think will find what you've shared quite powerful, mainly because you've said, like, girls might take a dislike to you, that one example in the gym, but also, like, oh, she loves herself.
Like, it's a bad thing. Like, it's like the worst thing in the world for a girl to, like, love herself and be happy.
Especially where you've been, Ellie.
Yeah. Like, I've said to people in the gym, like, I wish I had a top. I was like, with a picture of my fat self on the back, like, I came from this, leave me alone. Because, like, do you know what I mean, though? Because I think girls especially don't love me in that gym. But it's like more the ones that are my age. Like, the young girls are really, really sweet. They're so nice, and I'll go and have a little chat to them, and they're really, really sweet. But it maybe they don't hate me. Maybe it is just my perception of how I come across. I also spend all my time in the gym with boys, which immediately people will go, because I've had Josh works there, and he come up to me like, were you not shagging him? And I was like, no, I've never shagged him. He was like, I just thought because you're always training together. I was like, no. I was like, we're friends. These boys have been my friends for the last 4 years. They've seen me at every stage of all of this. They're just incredibly proud and happy for me to be where I am now. Jamie was filming me the other night, because I film a lot of content to send back to my coach so they can correct form and stuff, and I was doing it, and at the end of the video he goes, you look like a steadied man. I was like, thank you so much. He was like, I'm so proud of you, because it's really hard to grow muscle, especially as a woman. It's like our testosterone's not as high as men's, and we can't lift as heavy, and it's harder, but it's not impossible, but you just have to put in so much more work. So, like, my lab mates look at me from a physique point of view, and they're like, wow, you've smashed it.
And they can see how much effort you're putting into it.
But they're my friends. But to other girls who come in the gym, I do walk in and I do hug everyone, and I am like, oh my God, hi bestie, oh my God, hi. Like, I've got, like I said, friends that are 70 in there. Like, and they always get, you will come to my funeral, won't you? And I'm like, all right, let's not talk about that now. But yes, we will come to your funeral. Of course we will. Like, they're people that are in my life. I'm a loving person. I hug everyone all the time. I'll walk into a room, and if I see someone that I know that I'm friends with, I'm going to go over and be like, oh my God, hi, boy or girl, they're my friends. Do you know what I mean? But to other people, it'll be like, she walks in the gym, she like prances around, she always got her hair done. Yeah, I do. I've got a Dyson. I do my hair on a Sunday night, and it lasts. I haven't touched this since Sunday. Like, do you know what I mean?
Mine doesn't look like that when I Dyson my hair.
I just bought the new one. It's very, very, very good. I really do recommend it. So I like do my hair really nice on a Sunday. For a bit of self-care, I'll do my hair, pin it all, and I wear makeup to my office job. So when I go in the gym...
You've already got it on.
I've got it on. I'm not going to go home and take it off, because I feel like I look really ugly when I've just took my makeup off, you know, because your eyes go quite red and your skin looks a bit patchy. You know, when you've like took it off, you look a bit blotchy.
Yeah.
So why would I do that to myself when I've got a nice little bit of makeup on, my hair's done? What am I going to do? Scrape it all back just to make other people not judge me? I'm going to walk in.
There's that element of other people there again, isn't there?
All the time.
That aspect of, what will people think of me if?
Yeah.
And I think that's a really common thing in which, as I said earlier, we all think, but what you've highlighted here is you have done so much work on yourself to become the woman that is sat here today.
Yeah.
But there are still elements where you might question yourself, like where your friends take loads of pictures of you to get that one picture, you will then ask people, is this okay to post?
Yeah.
Why do you think you do that?
I don't know. I like, it's like seeking approval, because I'm like, but why do I care? Like, and I do it in my own head. Them shoot pictures I had for 3 weeks, two or 3 weeks before I posted them.
And you look phenomenal in those pictures.
I just see all the parts of myself that I'd want to change, or that I'm still not quite happy with, and I zoom in on them and I'm like, and then everyone was going, these are amazing. Because I sent them privately to my closest friends, obviously my family and whatever, and it was like, why have you not posted these? And to be fair, I was in Greece, so I was like, I'm enjoying my holiday and my bikini pictures and enjoying that aspect of it. I don't know if I'm ready to post it. And I was like, okay, I'm ready. And it was like, I was so scared. Also, I'm in my underwear. Now, it's it's fine for me to post a picture of my bikini, but in my underwear, it's like, whoa. Because even some of the people that I was talking to was like, yeah, maybe not post like, you know, the underwear ones, maybe just keep them. And I was like, yeah, no, I've done this. I've worked really hard. I will never get a chance to be in my underwear in a gym again, and I'm going to post it.
Absolutely. When I saw that picture, I went, whoa.
It was so
Here
scary.
she is.
Thank you so much. I don't even...
But you don't see it else.
No, I don't. Because I think I will always see myself as that girl that I was before. Do you know what I mean? There's always she's always going to be like a part of me. Like when lads speak to me, like obviously I'm trying to date. I feel healed enough to start dating. It's taken me like a year and a half to get to a place where I think I'm emotionally ready to potentially let someone break my heart, but in a fun way. Like it's fun. It's not. I'm not scared of.
We'll come back to that one.
I'm not scared of the thought of someone coming into my life and then leaving. I'd be okay with that because I'm so okay with who I am now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not like I'm before. If someone was to break up with me, my life would be over. It'd be like the worst thing in the world. Now I'd be like, okay, nice knowing you. We've had fun. Goodbye.
No, I actually love that. So what I'm hearing with this one is, previously in a relationship, if that hadn't worked out or somebody had left, you'd have been
the fear of abandonment. It would be like, I've been left. What is wrong with me? Blah, 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 blah.
What is wrong with me? Okay, really, really common.
Yeah.
But now, the journey in which you've taken yourself on has got you to a place where, come or go, somebody comes in, relationship, situationship, whatever it is, it feels good, you'll allow that can come and help. But if that leaves, you're still good.
Yeah, still good. Yeah.
How have you done that? How have you got yourself to that place?
I think with the people that I've got around me, I genuinely I think I've got rid of everyone in my life that was not right for me, friends-wise. I had a lot of friends in my life who were my friends, but they weren't. Like, there was always hints of, like, I don't mean jealousy in any, like, particular way, but you know when you can just tell that someone's just not got your best interests at heart, whether it's little bitchy comments or digs or jokes that are just jokes, but you're like, you're not joking though. You mean what you say. There's like malice behind it. I literally have got probably about 7 or 8 women in my life now who are insane in their own right. They are all the most confident, beautiful, inspiring, interesting, funny, intelligent women. And I'm like, oh my God, you're genuine. And they are just their authentic selves. They love me for me. I love them for them. And because they make me feel so okay. And the thing that I always think is I'm never scared of losing these friends because I'm secure. It's a secure relationship.
Yeah.
You can't lose what's meant for you. So if I get into a relationship and it doesn't quite feel right, or he's like, yeah, I'm not feeling this, then I'm like, okay, bye. Because
you're not part of my journey moving forwards.
Like, you were here for like this little bit, that's cute, we've had fun, we went on a nice date or whatever, but you're not obviously the person for me because you wouldn't. I just think I'm very, whether it's still naive, like, to think that there are genuinely people out there who want to still fall in love and do the journey of like getting engaged, having kids and getting married. I'm still naive enough to think that can happen in this horrible world of dating.
That absolutely can happen.
I mean, you're not on the app, so it's rough out there. Because you think people are single. Like, they're on an app, so they're single. But then their Instagram tagged photos from their girlfriends, like them and their girlfriend's holiday 2 weeks ago, would suggest that maybe they've got a girlfriend.
And that's something that you've actually seen?
2 weeks ago. Like, you know, when you're just like, how are you on an app? How are you doing this? Like, really? But that's like, it's so common. No one's shocked. Are you shocked when your friend says now, oh yeah, my friend, he was cheating. My friend's boyfriend was cheating. You're like, oh yeah, another one.
And why does it keep happening? And that can also influence fear.
Yeah.
As you've just said, 5 minutes ago, you said, I'm potentially ready to let someone come in, break my heart.
Yeah.
That kind of mindset has been developed for you through experiences that you might have been in the past. Comments, like you've just said, friends might say, oh yeah, he cheated on her or she's been cheated on.
Yeah.
Every relationship that I've ever been in, I've been cheated on.
Yeah, same.
Until this one.
Yay.
And the self-esteem, that vulnerable side of us down here, it takes a knock. And that fear of being able to trust somebody in the future is petrifying.
Yeah.
Because you think, well, that person said that he wouldn't do that to me and he did it.
Yeah.
And then that person. And that might make sense from your comment. I'm potentially ready to let someone come in and break my heart.
I think because I genuinely, I actually have done so much healing work and so much like, I read self-help books for fun. Like I've joined a book club and they want me to read like, is it fiction? Which is the one where it's not real?
Fiction. Oh my God, you've
know
just
what
put
I
me on the
mean?
spot there.
I don't know.
Non-fiction is factual. Fiction is fake.
Yeah, so they're like,
Please don't come for me if that's
I know.
wrong.
So they're like, they want me to read like books that are like fantasy books, like, you know, and I'm like, oh, I've never done that because I've only ever read like self-help development books that have got a purpose to me reading them. Like, there's help in it. And the only thing that I can say with confidence is that when someone cheats, it's an internal thing. They're doing that to fix something inside them. It's never you. And I know that people will be like, it's easy for you to say, it's not you. You didn't do anything wrong. Like if you have been a loving partner, you've been loyal, you've been there for them and they still choose to cheat on you, they have got an issue with something inside of them and it's nothing to do with you. And you have to put your ego aside because all of our egos are dented when someone cheats on us because immediately we look at who it was and we're like, well, she was prettier than me, she was skinnier than me, she was better than me. But it's not. You have to put your ego aside and be like, it wasn't anything to do with me. He could have been with anyone. I still hear stories now about one of my exes still up to his old tricks. And I'm like, he's not going to change. And it's like, it was never
that's about him, not the girlfriend or partner that he's with.
And until you fix what's inside of you that's making you think it's acceptable to cheat on your partner, like if you want open relationships, like this, in this world now, people can literally do and be anything they want to be. No one will judge you. Yeah. But if you're in a monogamous like relationship with someone where you're both promising each other that it's just each other and you're loyal to each other, you don't cheat. If you're cheating still after being in, you have got something deeply wrong with you inside and you need help. But you don't get help and then you put
all of that baggage and drama onto someone else
who then they have to go and get help. Yeah. And it's like a really vicious cycle. But until you can separate your ego and be like, okay, there was actually nothing wrong with me, they cheated, it is what it is. Yeah. Can't change it. Like you can't change it. It's happened. You just have to work on becoming the best version of you. Yeah. And revenge is beautiful because you don't have to do anything to get revenge. You just get to be happier. That's the best revenge ever, is being happier than you were when you were with that person.
And getting yourself to a different place. Yeah. Through healing, work on yourself, even the self-help books that you've mentioned, like that is such a positive thing in which you do. And for you to be able to look at the journey that you've been on, and as you've just said, be happier is the best revenge because you're not dealing with that anymore.
Mate, I used to like going to work on a Saturday, 2 hours sleep, and everyone would be like, you're right. I was like, no, he's out again. And they were like, what do you mean? I was like, not heard from him since 7 o'clock. He went for a pint. And I'm never being her. I'm never waiting up for a man. If you say you're going for a pint and you don't text me, bye, like we will be done. I can't. Yeah. It's not a life for any girl. Any girl that has sat in her room, checking WhatsApp, checking iMessage, checking Instagram to see if he's online, it is the worst place that you can it's the worst place that you can ever be in. You're like, you feel crazy. You're like checking constantly, like, why are you not texting?
That's down here, isn't it, in your gut?
It's like, I know a few people that have said when their partners have cheated on nights out, they've woke up in the middle of the night at like the time and they're like, they almost like wake up. It's like,
well, like spiritually
they're like, and then they're like, oh my God, something really bad's happened. Like they know. Your bodies are amazing. They literally tell you all the things you need to know.
What's your opinion on your gut is always right?
100%.
Do you believe it?
I do, but I think you need to differentiate what's your gut and what's like your anxieties.
So what's your gut and what's your fear?
Yeah, because I think if you fear things, like, you're going to always be like, oh, my gut's saying no, because you're scared. But sometimes, like, your anxiety can actually be excitement. And it's really, really hard to know. I always think I'm anxious before I go and meet someone new, but I'm not anxious. I think I'm actually excited because it is exciting because it's like, this could be the love of my life. It never is, but it could be. And it's always that fun, like, fluttery kind of, but it's not necessarily anxiety, but it's so hard to know what's anxiety, what's excitement, and what's your gut.
Absolutely. I think that's so powerful, Els, Because they feel the same.
Yeah, everything feels the same. When I was excited, stood there for Taylor Swift, I was like, oh my God,
I'm anxious.
I was like, why am I anxious? And Beth was like, you right? I was like, yeah, I feel really anxious. But we weren't anxious. It was complete excitement, nerves, like, oh my God. Like, we'd waited like a year. It was one of the greatest nights of my life. She looked at us. You've seen the video?
I have seen the video. She's literally there.
She's literally there. That's Taylor Swift.
My thoughts on anxiety, and I say this a lot to the clients that I work with, anxiety is the what if of a situation.
Yeah.
So what if that goes wrong? What if they don't like me? What if they don't turn up in a date kind of aspect? But anxiety can also be the should of a situation, like, oh, I should have done that.
Yeah.
Should have done that better. Could have done that better. And I like how you worded that sometimes anxiety can help us because it can make us, make sure we do the things in order for the task ahead.
Yeah.
So going on a date, making sure I will feel better if I am my best self going to that date.
Yeah.
Or preparing for a project or something, making sure everything's in line. So it can protect us, but also it can be the worst thing for us to focus on because we're already forward thinking and having fear when it's not necessarily needed.
Well, they always say, don't they, when you're anxious, you create the same feelings for yourself twice.
Yeah.
So, like, you're anxious about something that might not happen, so
Yeah.
you create all these feelings. Then if it does happen, you've got to feel it all again.
Yeah.
So you're creating...
You're just stressing yourself
Yeah,
out
for nothing.
over and over again.
Yeah. And I know, like, it's a valid mental health. I've had anxiety for years, but you have to... It's like... You can sit here and I could sit here and go, yeah, I've got this and that and this and use it all as an excuse and not do things because of it. But, like, it's that very, like, victim mentality mindset, like, but this is wrong with... So... You've got a pair of legs, you can breathe, you've got money, you've got a roof over your head. Like, we could all sit here and be like, yeah, but I've got this and I can't do... But it's just blocking you from living your best life. And the potential that you have... Everyone's got so much potential that they don't even... Like, I know so many of my friends that are so talented at things and they don't even do it. One of my friends is making bags at the moment just for fun. Like, she's, like, painting them like little canvas bags. And I was like, you're so talented. Like, everyone's got all this potential in whatever, but they just don't do anything with it.
But you know what I find interesting when you're saying that?
But...
The amount of potential that I see in you.
Oh, I know.
And even on a surface level aspect of things... But then it's really sad to hear you say things like you were overanalyzing these pictures from your photo shoot and stuff. Isn't it interesting? You can see it in other people, but then I can see it in you.
I'm a hypocrite. Yeah, because then someone else, like Rachel, would be like, well, I see it in you. Do you know what I mean? Like, and everyone will always say, but you do that. If one more person tells me that I should become a PT, and I'll be like, it drives me insane. I'm like, I don't have that qualification. And also, this is the thing that I love to do for me.
Yeah,
I'm not ruining that by making it my job. I can't. Because if I start to hate what I love, then I lose the thing that's most important to me.
Most valuable to your mental health.
Everything. Yeah, it's more than... The gym is more than just about going and, like, training. It's every aspect of it. No matter what mood you're in, you go to the gym, you get your shit done, you feel good. It ticks off boxes in my head. If I'm sad, I actually train better.
Why? Because it pushes you to... What, lift heavier?
Yeah, can't explain it. I've had some sessions where I've been so sad. I've had, like, lifted some of the best lifts of my life, and then I'm like, I'm not even sad anymore. I just needed to lift some weight.
Because that dopamine got released from the actual...
And it's a good source of dopamine. Like, it's not one of the bad ones that you shouldn't do. It's good. It's healthy.
Okay, interesting. So, throughout all of this, right, throughout everything that we've spoken about today, I think... I'm really pleased to hear, how vulnerable you're able to be with yourself. So that aspect of looking at the journey that you've been on and thinking, right, I was in a dark place there. You've been able to recognise getting psychological support and being more active has helped to develop you into a happier person. If there was somebody listening to this podcast now that was thinking, right, well, I haven't got that kind of confidence, I don't like who I am, what kind of advice would you give to them?
You have to like who you are. Because how is anyone else going to like you if you don't like you?
Yeah.
You're the only constant in your life. Everyone else can come and go. As much as it would break my heart if any of my friends ever left, there's always a chance that they could move to Australia for all I know. They could suddenly decide they don't like me anymore. They could go. They're not constant. You are the only constant. You spend your whole life with you.
With you, literally.
Why would you want to hate you? Like, I actually love waking up in the morning, and my favourite thing in the morning is my drive to work. If Beth ever rings me, I'm like, oh, hi, Beth, yeah, you all right? And she's like, Nelly wants to say hi or something. And I'm like, okay, Nelly, but I need to go now, because if I don't sing my songs before I get to work, I will not be a happy bunny.
I am exactly the same.
I need that, like, it's my time. And, like, I feel less guilty now about saying to people, no, like, this is, like, even though it's just singing in the car, which is so, like, grow up, I love singing in the car.
Yeah, me too.
Like, it genuinely sets me up good for the day. If I've had a really good shuffle on like a playlist and it's given me some absolute bangers, I'm like, wow. And I'll walk in the office and everyone's like, you're in a good mood. And I'm like, I'm in a really good mood, because I've listened to a song from Glee that I forgot about, and then I'm like, wow, that's a great song. But then I'll listen to it like 12 times.
Oh,
that's
okay,
the ADHD,
so that's the repetitive kind of stuff. But what I'm hearing from that aspect of things, you're able to recognise music helps your mood. So you're able to set boundaries. If you're in the car on the way to work as a routine, that's your time.
Yeah.
The amount of my friends that always say, oh no, Ellie doesn't like phone calls when she's in the car, because I literally say, I'm going now, you're interrupting my songs.
Yeah.
But how you shared about, you're the only constant in your life,
You
right?
are.
So we need to be able to love ourselves for us. If somebody really, really just is struggling to think, well, what do I need to do then? Would you recommend somebody focus on all of the positives in their day? Is that something that you do?
Yeah, I think in order to, I'm so lucky that I got the help that I did when I got it. But I think sometimes you do need help from an outsider's perspective, or like if you're not getting it through your doctors, like there's so many different avenues that you can go down, listening to podcasts that talk about certain stuff, YouTube, TikToks, like coaches, life coaches who can help you. Sometimes I think you don't understand. I never knew why I was the way I was. I had all these big emotions. I never knew why. And because I didn't know what it was, I felt like I was so broken and damaged. And I was like, I overreact to everything. I'm so hyper, and then I'm so sad. And I never knew why. But getting a diagnosis and learning why I am the way I am, it kind of just made everything better.
Right.
Because it gave me an answer. So, like, I think people who feel really lost and don't know who they are, like, the answer isn't just get on a plane and go to Bali. Like, every man in the world thinks that's your answer to life. Like, let's go travelling. Like, I think you need to work out what it is inside you that makes you so sad. Because sometimes there are things that you can, like, work through and be like, okay, this is why I feel like this, and it's okay to get help. It's one of the best things I ever did. I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't have the help that I'd have had all those years ago.
But you put the effort in.
Yeah,
to allow yourself to be vulnerable.
I wanted to be happy. I think I wanted nothing more than to just never feel how I felt then. It was the lowest form of my life. The only good thing was that we got Elmo, who's my dog. Because I was in such a sad place, my therapist was like to my mum, I think you need to get her a dog, because that's what she really wants. And I got Elmo. And that helped me, because I had to look after someone else. But I had to look after me in order to look after him. Like, if I didn't get out of bed, do you know what I mean? He wouldn't get a walk.
So that motivation for somebody else...
Yeah.
For something else, sort of getting yourself a dog, being vulnerable, figuring out, right, okay, something needs to change.
Yeah.
I need to change something here. You
have to be so sick of the life that you're living that you want to change, that you want to make yourself happy, that you want to get better.
Okay.
Because if you don't want it, you're just not going to go for it, are you? You're just going to be like everyone who says, need to lose weight, start on Monday. No, if you want to lose weight, you'll start now.
Yeah. Don't keep putting things
off. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't put it off.
You've got to just do it.
Okay, because it does get better and it does get easier.
Life can be actually really fun.
Okay. Well, Miss Ellie Mills, thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for coming on to the podcast. Did you enjoy it?
I loved it.
I'm
sorry if I talked a lot of shit.
No,
I enjoyed it.
It's been great. It's given me a really, really good insight into your journey so far, things that have worked for you, things that can work for other people. And I'm really excited to see where you go with all of this and what life looks for you in the future.
Very exciting. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Perfect.
Thank you.
That's all right.
How's that, Els?
Yeah, fine.
Perfect,
I mean, I do
babe.
think it went.
Perfect.